Hello and welcome to the CLNS Red Sox Roundtable, hosted by myself, Nick Qualia, along with Alex Barth and Ethan Winter on Monday, July 24th. How are we doing, boys?
Doing well.
Doing good.
Beautiful March day here in the Boston area.
Beautiful March day in July.
Exactly. I
am a 245-pound hefty man. I should not be able to wear a sweatshirt on July 24th. This goes against all physics, everything that God created. This goes against everything that should be happening in the world right now. I should be dripping in sweat. I was so cold today. I could not wait to get home and throw on a sweatshirt.
Surprised the Red Sox aren't bitching about it all the way in Seattle.
Oh, do you know how bad it must be in Seattle? This is Seattle weather.
Yeah,
I'm sure they hate it. I should be careful what I say about them, though. They don't like the media. So Price probably listens to this. He wants to know what everybody's saying about him. I'm sorry. That's for the other roundtable. I'm sorry.
Alex, one more thing before we do get going, though. I want to say I'm a big fan of nobody can see it because this is audio right now. Before we start, We're going to start doing video, though, soon at some point. Big fan of the Cape Cod hat.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say that.
I was the voice of the Harwich Mariners for a summer a couple years ago. Best summer of my life. Love the Cape Cod League. If you've never been down there, definitely check it out. Just go to whatever game. It's awesome. I recommend Harwich, but they're all good.
I did awesome. Scoring for the Wareham Gatemen a couple summers ago.
But, Wareham's not the Cape. Fun. That's what I never got. There's, 9 teams on the Cape. I don't know. It's a Cape League thing for those of you who don't know.
They're the Gatemen. The gateway to the Cape.
Wareham Gatemen, yep.
They're the fake Cape. They've always
exactly.
All right, conversation tonight on tonight's roundtable, again, Monday, July 24th. Rafael Devers, 20-year-old. I want to say phenom because this guy kind of took the Red Sox farm system by storm. Rafael Devers, 20 years old, played, I got all of his stats right here. He played this year 77 games in AA Portland, got 287 at-bats, 48 runs, 86 hits, 19 doubles, 3 triples, 18 dingers, 56 ribbies, and hit 300 in those 77 games. Now, 9 games into Pawtucket's AAA career, 35 at-bats, 2 home runs, and an average of 400. And on his debut night, went 4 for 4 with a home run and a double. Rafael Devers is now being called up to the majors amid all of the third base issues that the Red Sox have had all throughout the season between Pablo Sandoval, Devin Marrero, concussed Brock Holt, and Zhu Wei Lin, who seems to have just disappeared and evaporated into the world of the Red Sox.
Sandoval ate him on the way out.
Sandoval stuffed him underneath his belly and walked out of the clubhouse. Alex, what do you have on Rafael Devers? What do you think?
I mean, he's promising. If you don't mind me throwing a shameless plug in here, I talked to Sean McAdam on my podcast today, Calling It Podcast on Twitter. And, everybody's comparing Devers to Andrew Benintendi's call-up last year.
I'm bleeping that out. I'm just kidding. Keep going.
Small plug. Check out all the CLNS stuff, too, of course. But basically what I was talking with Sean McAdam about of Boston Sports Journal is that, everybody compares him to the Benintendi call-up last year. How easily could he also be Yoan Moncada from, I guess, also last year where he came up and he wasn't ready, a 20-year-old international free agent? And that's what I think we need to be careful about. There's a very fine line. I'm not comfortable with the fact his first start is against King Felix. Look, he's not the same pitcher he was 2-3 years ago, but he's still one of the best arms in baseball. I'm not sure if I want to start the kid off that tough. I don't want him to start off cold. You're not going to go 4 for 4 in your debut against King Felix. You can cold take me on that all you want. I don't think it's going to happen. I'd rather them either wait the day or, if he's ready, start him tonight.
See, I don't think it's going to be Andrew Benintendi, but I also don't think it's going to be Yoan Moncada. As far as I know, Devers, he's got a decent head on his shoulders. Moncada was a little bit of a nutcase as it turned out to be. But I think Devers is probably going to be somewhere in the middle. He's going to be in between Andrew Benintendi and Yoan Moncada. And while I was kind of surprised to see the Red Sox call him up so soon, I expected to see him more in August. You've seen the last 2 days that the Red Sox have struggled offensively. He's going to give the Sox a spark offensively with the bat. His glove is the big question mark, but give the kid a shot, I guess. And my theory, I don't think this is completely true, but it's just a theory that I'm going on. I think the reason why the Red Sox called him up now as opposed to in August is because they want to see what sort of spark he brings the team in this next week leading up to the trade deadline to kind of help figure out if they need to go out and trade for a third baseman for the rest of the season.
Well, I did also see, and just a couple points off what you said, I think the difference between, and I don't think he'll be Yoan Moncada either. I think the difference between him and Moncada is Moncada's glove was ready, his bat wasn't, whereas Devers is the other way around. That's a lot more encouraging. And as for how they brought him up now, pre-trade deadline, an interesting point that I heard today is there's nobody else really in the market for a third baseman. So maybe the Red Sox, they still want to trade for somebody. They think the price is too high. They bring Devers up and basically tell all these other teams, look, we have this kid. We don't need to pay your price. And they hope by bringing Devers up, teams will call their price and call their bluff and bring the price of the third baseman around the league down to something they can afford, because we all know Dave Dombrowski has stripped this thing down to the nuts and bolts.
The Red Sox legitimately might not have anything left in the farm system to trade, which is why it was insane in that small, I want to say it was a small time just a couple of weeks ago that Red Sox fans were calling for big trades. Some fans even wanted to get Miguel Cabrera, which is bananas.
I think that was Alex Rodriguez.
Yeah, but some fans on Twitter fell for it. Manny Machado, which is absolutely insane.
No.
Manny Machado would have never came to Boston because Baltimore wouldn't have been that stupid to trade him to an in-division team. But besides the point, my whole thing with Devers and being 20 years old, the difference between him and Moncada is, so far, from the very little I've seen from Devers, I'm not going to lie and act like I've seen this guy play a lot. The small sample size that I've seen is he was able to jump from AA up to AAA, where he obviously knows that people are watching him. He obviously knows that the Red Sox fan base has a big everybody's zoned in on him right now. And that night he goes 4 for 4. That tells me that this guy, I don't want to say he's completely ready for the big stage, but I think he can play when he knows people are watching. 4 for 4 with a home run and a double that night. And the other thing is, yeah, he's only 20 years old, but he's kind of doing what Andrew Benintendi was doing. He was excelling through the system. He was excelling in AA. Granted, they kind of just skipped AA and went straight to the majors with Andrew Benintendi. But sending Devers up to AAA, Devers has been showing Boston that, hey, I'm here to play. And something to go along with the trade deadline with Devers. This isn't an original take. This is actually from Jared Scally, CLNS, the show here on CLNS. He tweeted that this could be an opportunity for the Red Sox to see what they have before the end of the trade deadline. They're going to give him a little bit of time to play, and he's expected to start tomorrow night, and we're going to get our first taste of him up in the majors. But they're going to see what they actually have. Do they have to pay the price to get a third baseman? Because we have to be honest with ourselves, Devin Marrero isn't going to last for the entire season. He can't be your starting third baseman if you expect to win.
Yeah, but I think, let's be honest, is a week long enough, less than a week long enough to evaluate an MLB player? It's not. If that is really their plan, that they're going to use this time to evaluate him and think they can build a full evaluation in this time, they have to be kidding themselves.
Do you know how stupid this team's been all year?
I know. I mean, that's
team's been dumb.
Normally, I wouldn't even bring that up, right? Because most teams wouldn't do that. But the way Dombrowski has done things, and the way Farrell has done things,
Boston Red Sox.
I think there is a possible chance they think they can evaluate this kid in 6 games, one of which against Felix Hernandez. And it would be ridiculous, because if Devers is the prospect people think he is, and you're going to rush him just so you can decide if you want to trade for Yonder Alonso, is asinine.
Just trade for Jed Lowry.
Right, if you want to say, okay, we're going to take our top prospect,
Big Jed guy,
evaluate his entire career in 6 days, and decide if we want Jed Lowry back, that's a fireable offense in my mind. Well, especially the way they've handled prospects the last couple of years.
Oh,
they don't have anybody else left to trade. Who else can you trade? You have to go with the 20-year-old in the major leagues because you've drained the farm system. You traded Anderson Espinosa, and now in hindsight, whatever. But for Drew Pomeranz, even though it's worked out kind of, I still hate that trade because we don't have any more prospects to do deals like this and to get third baseman when you need them. When you're in first place in the division and you have a 1 week spot.
Calling up
I
Devers
said
right now
Jed
is
Lowry.
fine if you're calling him up for baseball reasons. If you're calling him up just to evaluate so you can decide if you want to make the trade, knowing you can only trade for crap based on what you have in your farm system, that makes it a bad idea.
I said Jed Lowry because Jed Lowry is not going to cost as much as even a over-the-hill Todd Frazier is going to
But I don't even know what the Red Sox have to give up for Jed Lowry.
Oh, you were in Ireland. Todd Frazier's already off the table.
I know.
You bimbo.
I know that. I've been keeping tabs. I'm just saying, like, the Red Sox were in on Todd Frazier. He was going to cost more than what Jed Lowry is going to cost. I mean, look at what the haul that the White Sox got from the Yankees. I mean,
because the Yankees have prospects to deal.
Right, exactly. But so the I'm just saying that Jed Lowry, he's probably going to cost a middling prospect, if that. Realistically, Jed Lowry is a more realistic trade option for the Red Sox.
What do you have left to trade? I don't even think you have a middle prospect left to deal. They're all gone. Now, another concern.
Heck, you could even trade let me think this out for a second.
Okay,
you could maybe even trade like. No, I'm just gonna.
It doesn't because we don't know the name of the guy they would trade for Jed Lowry because ultimately he's irrelevant. The issue isn't necessarily them making the trade because anybody they get, they're not going to give up anything. It's the reason they're bringing up. What is the reason that they're bringing up Devers? And the other thing I realized, is this just a desperation move by them? Is this a first-place team, a team with the second-best record in the American League, making a desperation move? And what does that say about Farrell and Dombrowski? That at this point in the season, they're making this kind of move out of desperation.
It is.
Well, I've already thought that Dombrowski, early in the season, I thought maybe Dombrowski could be on a hot seat a little bit. And this was around the time that Farrell was on a hot seat yet again.
Do you guys watch The Simpsons?
No.
Sometimes.
I should.
Do you know who Lyle Landley is?
No.
Jimmy Stewart of 98.5 The Sports Hub loves to make that comparison. There's an episode, basically, this guy comes to Springfield. They have all this money. I forget why. Springfield has all this money. They want to pump it into the schools or into the town or whatever. And this guy shows up. He's like, I'll build you a monorail. He builds it super cheap, like cuts all the corners, takes the money, and leaves town. That's Dave Dombrowski to the Red Sox. That's what he's. And now
that's a great comparison.
It looks good for the first year or two, and then now you have Tyler Thornburg and Carson Smith, who I like to call Bigfoot and the Loch Ness Monster because we hear about them. Some people think they exist, but I can't be sure. And you're left with no prospects when you actually need them.
You know what?
Absolutely, Dombrowski should be on the hot seat.
Last night I tweeted, "Is there anything more overrated than Shark Week?" I got one response. Dave Dombrowski.
I love that.
That response
That's
got
great.
many more favorites and retweets than my original tweet did.
And you know, Tiger fans warned us back in 2015. Tiger fans warned us, and we were like, "Oh well, we kind of need." We were at that point. We were sick of Ben Cherington holding on to prospects and not doing anything. But now that we got him, it's like a little bit of buyer's remorse with Dave Dombrowski, and now Red Sox fans are tired of Dave Dombrowski.
All right, Alex, quick 10-second final thoughts on Rafael Devers.
I really hope this clubhouse doesn't rub off on him because if he is the future like they say he is, I don't want him to be an insufferable jerk. I used you jerk because I'm sure I can't say what I want to say.
Ethan, 10 seconds. 10 actual seconds for you, you animal.
Okay. Hopefully Devers can perform well here up at the major league level.
All right, my biggest concern with Devers is that they're bringing him. Same thing with Benintendi last year. They're bringing him up too early, and it's going to screw them because a 20-year-old's mind is very weak and very vulnerable. If you send him up here and you screw with his head, that could potentially ruin him for the rest of his career. Guys,
keep him away from Price.
Keep him away from David Price. Guys, thanks for coming on. CLNS Red Sox Roundtable topic, Rafael Devers, July 24th. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for listening.